The bedroom was silent, save for the faint hum of the air conditioner. When Sarah turned her face away from me, her lips a taut line of refusal, my heart stuttered, a familiar ache blooming in my chest as I leaned in, hoping for the warmth of her kiss, only to meet the cold wall of her cheek. "Not tonight, David," she murmured, her voice a fragile thread, unraveling something deeper than I could grasp. I pulled back, the sting of rejection sharper than the last time, and the time before that. Her eyes, usually so vibrant, were fixed on the ceiling, as if she could see through it to some distant place I couldn't follow. I lay beside her, the king-sized bed feeling like an ocean between us. The moonlight slipped through the blinds, painting silver stripes across her face, and I searched for the woman I'd married 10 years ago. The one who'd laughed until tears streamed down her cheeks, who'd kissed me under a sky bursting with stars. Now her silence was a language I couldn't translate. I told myself it was stress, the late nights at her law firm, the endless cases piling up. But the excuses felt thinner each day, like paper worn translucent by too many hands. Morning came, heavy with the weight of unspoken words. Sarah was already in the kitchen, her back to me as she stirred cream into her coffee. The clink of the spoon against the mug was deliberate, almost defiant. "You're up early," I said, my voice softer than I meant it to be. She didn't turn. "Meeting with a client," she replied, her tone clipped, like she was cutting away any chance for more. I noticed her phone, face down on the counter, its screen lighting up with a notification she quickly swiped away. A flicker of unease stirred in my gut, but I pushed it down. She was my wife. Doubt had no place here. The day dragged, each hour a slow drip of unease. At work, my cubicle felt like a cage, the hum of fluorescent lights amplifying the thoughts I couldn't quiet. Sarah's late nights, her sudden need for space, the way her laughter had faded like a song played too many times. I tried to focus on spreadsheets, but my mind replayed that moment in the kitchen. Her phone, that quick, guarded swipe. By noon, I was dialing her number, my thumb hesitating over the call button. No answer. Just voicemail, her voice bright and professional, a stranger's voice. That evening, I found her car in the driveway, earlier than usual. The house smelled of jasmine, her perfume, but it was laced with something else. Cologne, sharp and unfamiliar. My pulse quickened as I stepped into the living room. Sarah was on the couch, her laptop open, her fingers pausing mid-type. "You're home," she said, her smile tight, like it was painted on. A glass of red wine sat on the coffee table, half empty, beside a second glass with a faint lipstick stain. Not her shade. My stomach twisted. "Whose is that?" I asked, nodding toward the glass, my voice steady despite the storm building inside me. Her eyes flicked to it, then back to me, a flash of something. Guilt? Fear? Crossing her face before she smoothed it away. "Oh, a colleague stopped by to drop off some files," she said too quickly. "We had a quick drink. Work stuff." Her words were smooth, practiced, but they didn't fit the shape of the truth. I nodded, swallowing the questions clawing at my throat. Not yet, I told myself. Not yet. Dinner was a charade. She talked about her day, her words a cascade of meaningless details. Court dates, client names, a new paralegal who shows promise. I watched her hands, the way they fluttered, never still, as if they were trying to distract me from her eyes. My fork scraped against the plate, the sound grating in the silence between her sentences. "You seem distracted," she said at one point, her head tilting, her voice laced with something I couldn't name. "Just tired." I lied, my gaze drifting to her phone, silent but ever present on the table. That night, I couldn't sleep. The cologne lingered in my mind, a ghost I couldn't shake. At 2 a.m., I slipped out of bed, my bare feet cold against the hardwood as I crept to the living room. Her phone was on the coffee table, its screen a black mirror. My fingers trembled as I picked it up, her passcode, our anniversary, burning in my mind. I hesitated, my reflection staring back at me. A man I barely recognized. Then I typed it in. The messages were a knife to the chest. "Miss you already," from a contact named M. A string of texts, late-night exchanges, emojis that made my skin crawl. "Can't wait to see you again." One read, timestamped last night. My breath caught, the room tilting as I scrolled. Photos. A man's hand on hers. A selfie of them, her smile wide, unguarded, the way it used to be with me. My knees buckled, and I sank to the couch, the phone slipping from my hand. The next morning, I made a decision. I didn't confront her, not yet. Instead, I called her office, my voice calm as I asked for her schedule. "She's out today," her assistant said, confusion in her tone. "Personal day." My heart pounded as I hung up. Personal day. She hadn't mentioned it. I drove to the cafe she loved, the one she'd stopped visiting with me months ago. There she was in a corner booth, laughing with him. The man from the photo. Tall, sharp-jawed, his hand brushing hers across the table. The sight was a physical blow, stealing my breath. I didn't storm in. I didn't scream. I sat in my car, watching through the window, my hands gripping the steering wheel until my knuckles whitened. Every laugh, every touch, was a shard of glass in my chest. But beneath the pain, something colder took root, clarity. I drove home, my mind racing, piecing together the red flags I'd ignored. The late nights, the locked phone, the perfume that lingered too long. I'd been blind, but not anymore. That evening, I waited. When she walked in, her face lit with that practiced smile, I was ready. "We need to talk," I said, my voice low, steady. Her smile faltered, her eyes searching mine. "About what?" she asked, but her voice trembled, betraying her. I set her phone on the table, the screen still open to the messages. Her face drained of color, her breath hitching. "David, I can explain." "Don't." I cut her off, my voice sharper than I intended. "I saw you today. With him." Her eyes widened, tears welling, but I didn't stop. 10 years, Sarah. 10 years, and you couldn't even look at me last night. My voice broke, the anger giving way to the raw hurt beneath it. She reached for me, but I stepped back, the distance between us a chasm now. "I was lonely," she whispered, her voice cracking. "You were always working, always distant." He listened. Her words were a plea, but they only deepened the wound. Lonely? I'd poured my soul into this marriage, into her. I thought of the nights I'd stayed up, planning our future, while she was texting him. The betrayal wasn't just in her actions. It was in the life she'd built without me. I didn't shout. I didn't break things. Instead, I packed a bag, my hands steady despite the storm inside. "I'm leaving," I said, my voice hollow. Her sobs followed me to the door, but I didn't turn back. The twist wasn't her betrayal. It was mine. I'd betrayed myself, clinging to a love that had slipped away long before I noticed. As I stepped into the night, the weight of her lies lifted, replaced by something new. Freedom, sharp and bittersweet, like the first breath after drowning.